Would you like to win and achieve success at what you do? Welcome to the Winner's Ways podcast, where we create winners every day. And now, your host, the author of Winner's Ways book and life coach, Bola Alabi.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Winner's Ways podcast. This is where we help you to win, to achieve success, to become more of who you want to be. So today we have a guest with us. We have Sheevaun Moran with us. And with Sheevaun today, we are going to be talking about business success, strategy for growth, and how you can accomplish success in your life. So this is going to be interesting, guys. So I'm excited already. So without keeping you waiting further, I'm going to bring in my guest, Sheevaun. Hey, Sheevaun, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right. It's so fun to, have you here today. Today is Friday. So how is your day going?
It's pretty great. I mean, I'm kind of at the beach. I'm not at the beach, but I live at the beach, and yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's a good day.
It's a good day. So it's a good day to talk about everything success, I guess. Can you introduce yourself to my audience so that they can get to know you better?
Sure. I help people take whatever's going on in their life and unstick it so that they have more prosperity. And so when people will say, "What do you do?" I say, I help you create a miracle. And everybody wants a miracle, right? And so I landed on that on accident a long time ago, but it is true in that I have this process of unlocking that miracle mind, those miracle opportunities for people so that they can achieve the things that they want in their life. And business is part of it. And I always say that if you have a bank account, you have a business.
That's
and
right.
It means if you even know you have to keep more in your bank account and you have to grow your bank account, that's a business. That's actually a business. So, not many people think like that, but that's how I think. And so I do that in lots of ways. We do it one-on-one. Our favorite way that most people really get big boosts is through our group programs. The one-on-one are a little bit more intensive for folks who have bigger dreams, bigger visions, bigger goals, or they're for the C-level executive or the business owner. And then we do, small bite-sized 3-day chunks of trainings so that it's digestible, because people have a lot going on in their life. And then we have self-study programs and such like that. But most of the people that come to me really know that they have something of value that they need to get out into the world. They've tried a bunch of things. It's not quite working out. And they seem to just keep getting stuck at the same point. And I help them unstick that stuckness.
That's good. So I'm just curious, why is it important to you to help people get more out of their life? Why do you think that is important?
One of my core values is service. And it's not about service for the sake of me. It's service for the sake of uplifting someone else. And I didn't have a lot of people helping me when I was growing up. I had a great life when I was growing up. But a lot of people, I guess, assumed that I was really smart and I could figure it out on my own. And they didn't really try to help. I mean, a few people said a few things, but, they didn't really try super hard to give me, guide me or anything. And so I just think they thought I had it all figured out. I so didn't have it figured out. And I want to be the ally for people in their sales, in their marketing, in their next level, in their next step, to get out of their own way. Because I built some really cool tools apparently that nobody else does or uses or has. So.
Wow. Okay, let's hear about your tool. What is that tool, or what is
Well,
the process like?
it's a process,
Yeah.
but it's really about identifying, some key elements, and that's through we do a long intake, we do some assessments, and we look at where somebody wants to go and where they're at and what has occurred. I kind of have a unique ability. I grew up I was a coder at 14, so I think in code and decoding and programming and things like that. And so it's like, okay, how do we fix the puzzle? How do we assemble the circumstance so that the thing works better? And so that's that's like a high level of the process we use. But yeah, so it's not complicated, but it's deep.
Okay. No, I quite agree with you there. I learned some programming, I think last year. Programming is tough, by the way. So I think untangling people from their stickiness may be a little bit tough as well. And I know you've been doing this for a while. I know you are equipped. You have the experience to help people. I just want to hear from you. Why do you think people get into that chaos mode whereby it is difficult for them to have clarity in terms of what they actually want for their life? Why is that so?
I think people are really caught up in the shoulds, and they're caught up in the things need to look a particular way, based upon what others are doing or saying. They're caught up in how they were trained, how they came up through school and what they were taught. I had somebody that gave me a wash and a blow dry yesterday. Somebody who was new to me, and she said, I decided to go back to college a couple years ago, and I wanted to get my master's degree in business marketing. And she said, I wasted all my money. I said, okay, tell me why. I know why, but tell me why. And she said, because they teach you how to build a marketing plan. They don't teach you how to market a business. Oh. And that's a perfect example of people who are really smart and have really amazing skills or take good tests, and they can apply them in one arena. But whenever you go out and try to apply them to your own business, you don't have the tools or the skills or the abilities or the background or the step-by-step process. And so I think we're taught how to be a machine, and we're not taught how to be good independent thinkers and communicate in a way that is kind, that is respectful to yourself and to another and to the idea. So that's 3 ways of communicating. And really, we are really kind of weird with our words, meaning we don't use our language to the ability we have the capacity to, because we get really lazy with our language. We say things like, oh, that's crazy. And it's not crazy. It's just, okay, there's something going on, and it's really look at that and speak it in a way that is actually a little bit more accurate rather than that's crazy. Because if you use the word crazy, there's an energy to the word crazy, and that actually creates crazy. So we use words that actually get us into trouble.
Yeah, I hear you right there. So how does the process work? Let's say somebody is out there today and they need to attain that clarity about where they want to go in their life. How do they come to you? And when they come to you, how do you take them through all those steps of what they need to do in order to get the results that they are looking for?
Well, first of all, you have to have an attitude of really wanting to learn about yourself and really wanting to change something or adopt some new way of being. And a lot of people are really stuck in their idea of how it should be. And so you have to really be a consummate learner. right? You have to want to learn in order for the results to come. So those are the kind of people who are going to come to me. I'm the person who they come to after they've been doing some of this for a bit. And so we really look at, where does somebody want to go, and do they have what they need mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, even spiritually, I did say emotionally, and the ability to take an idea and be willing to get that idea out into the world so that somebody will take action on it, whether it's a physical product or whether it's an online product or whether it's a system or whatever that is. It's, it all requires the same thing, but you have to have the heart of a learner, and you have to have the heart of wanting to do better for the person that you have that idea or product for. Because if you're doing it for the money, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to lose interest. You're going to get desperate and greedy and do all kinds of random, bizarre things that are not going to be in your highest and best interest. And if you can come from a place of heart and service and higher ideals, what will happen is you will find clients that want to pay you and pay for your product all over the place. They will just show up out of the blue.
Okay, so you've been called a spiritual warrior for business success and growth. Why spiritual?
Because everybody has their own spirituality. Whether it's, no matter what it is, Christian, Muslim, whatever that is, it all is from a higher source, whatever that is. And you take spiritual out of the way and you say, okay, well, there's an energetic piece to it, and everybody has an energy. Right. So here's something that's important, I think, for everybody to grasp is, if you're in sales, just take this for example, if you're in sales and you go into a conversation, people can feel and sense, whether they know or understand it is another point. They can feel and sense and identify your energy many hundreds of seconds before you walk in the door, because that's your energy. And so that's a spiritual component. Whatever spirituality is, your spirituality isn't the point. The point is, it all matters in the service and the objective for a result. And if you're out of integrity with your own spirituality, it's going to matter in your results. It will show up in your results all over the place.
So true. So can you walk us through your entrepreneurial journey? How did you start?
Yeah. So I started my first business at 11. I wanted a sweater. My parents wouldn't buy me, even though they could. They just wouldn't. And they said, if you can figure out how to buy it for yourself, then you can have it. And I thought, oh, okay. And there was a lady down the street. I don't know how I heard about this, but there was a lady down the street with the second largest yard in the neighborhood. And I knocked on the door. Now, I'm pretty introverted, so even more so then at 11. I mean, my God. and I think, gosh, I must have thought I was so grown up. And so I knocked on her door and asked her if she needed her lawn mowed. And she said, oh, my gardener just quit. She said, but you're a girl. And I said, does that matter? And she said, no. And so I started with one lawn, and then it became every week. And then I had a whole lawn mowing route.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And then in the winter, I shoveled snow. So I did good. I did really good. And then I was getting in trouble because, I was a little bored in school. And so my parents put me into coding school. My mom actually threw me into coding school. So I would, have something to do, I guess. I don't know. I liked it. I was good at it. And I actually got hired by this guy who had a whole lot of Arby's change. And it was so weird. I didn't understand. He said, hey, I'm just going to have you handle all of our computers. I mean, I'm 15 years old.
At that age? Yeah,
it's like, why is this guy just handing me his computer? Yeah, it was just it was so odd. Now I think of it and think, wow, that was very forward thinking of him.
Yeah.
So that was the next. And then I went off and did the traditional thing of getting jobs and working for people and not liking the way they were doing business. And then I moved to California. And when I first moved to California, I got this position at a company. There were 12 of us, and it was for ergonomics of computers. It was kind of the early, one of the first companies to do ergonomics for computers. And ergonomics means, how you sit.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Yeah, not everybody knows that. And so we built that. The 12 of us built that and sold that for, $140 million or more or something like that. And I thought, I want to do this. I want to do lots of this. So I did that 4 more times. And then I started a couple of businesses on the side when I had, when I had some of the jobs, and they did fine. And they weren't rocking out, but we did fine. And then I got sick, misdiagnosed, nearly died from blood poisoning. And I decided that I wasn't ever going to do this for somebody else. If I could build a business, I could heal my body. And if I could heal my body, once I healed my body, I was going to do my own thing. Mm-hmm. And so that was really the next sequence is I actually had a clinic for energy healing. One of the first 5 clinics in the state of California for energy healing, energy medicine, and taught meditation and did all of these kind of woo things. And people kept saying, every time I come to your class, every time I come and learn from you, every time, we do a session, I make more money. And I thought, wait a minute. There are a lot of people who do this wacky woo stuff and they're not telling anybody else about it. I thought, wait a minute. So I started doing a little questioning, a little sciencing, which is my typical thing of asking questions and saying, have you heard of anybody else? And I tried to find people who, put business in this, in this energy and woo kind of thing together. And I didn't find anybody. And I searched a lot. And I thought, it's because I've grown and sold businesses that I know how business works with the energy thing. And so we started a first company called Energetic Solutions. And then I have a school for alternative medicine, and I have a marketing agency, and so on and so forth. So, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So Energetic Solution, is that, do you still run that business today?
Yeah, it's my primary business. Yes.
Awesome. So in your line of business, can you tell us one piece of advice that you received that has really helped you in your business?
Yeah, it's something my dad told me when I was younger, and he knew I was having trouble with being introverted. And he said, there are 4 things you need to know. And he said, this is most important. And he said, if you're mad, sad, worried, afraid, then there are some things that you want to do. Go teach somebody, right? Help them get out of their stuff. Go hug somebody. Mm-hmm. Go feed somebody. Give food to somebody, or have food, or whatever that is. And then teach, feed, food. There's another one. I don't know what the 4th one is all of a sudden. I've been talking about this for years.
So basically what I'm hearing there is that go be of service to someone else.
That's right. Go be of service and get out of yourself. Yeah. Oh, make somebody laugh. That's it. The one that I have the most difficult time with. Laugh. Make somebody laugh.
No, that's pretty good. Make someone laugh. So that will at least take away all this stress that you are currently going through, because you are putting your mind on someone else, and that's pretty good. Thank you for sharing that, Sheevaun. So you've shared the advice that you received. I want to hear also the advice that you give entrepreneurs that's coming to you for business growth.
Calm down. No, I'm just kidding. You better know your number. of where you need to go next. And most people actually don't know their number of where they need to go next. They say, I just want more. And more is good, but more could be $1. More could be a penny. More could be 1,000. More could be 100,000. You have to know exactly the more. I think that's super important to know. I also think that it's going to take longer than you think. Right? Magical thinking is amazing. I am the queen of magical thinking. And yet, if you don't have the formula for the magic to work, it's going to take longer. And that's why it takes a lot of people a lot longer than it needs to. And I'm going to repeat that. It takes people a lot longer than it needs to. Right. Because the thing that happens is most people think that they need to do it for themselves. Right. And they need to do it by themselves rather than getting somebody to help them.
Yeah.
And, give them some, have some advice or, a good kick in the pants or whatever that is to be like, hey, wake up. And then I think 2 more pieces would be, you better learn sales. You better learn how to sell, because sales is every single thing. You sell to your kids, you sell to your spouse, you sell in every conversation, and you better get comfortable with sales, or else you're not going to have a business. Or you're not even going to have the next level of your job if you have a job. So you have to learn how to sell. And I don't mean be salesy. I'm going to give you an example of something my assistant said. Somebody was pitching her something, and she said, I've been here a while. I don't understand. You never pitch anybody. I said, no, I don't believe in pitching, but I believe in having a really good, elegant conversation so we can have a sales conversation. She says, that's why I feel so good here.
Yeah.
And then the last one is learn how to write. Learn how to write and communicate in ways that are going to be compelling and convincing and lead somebody to take another step, because those things are going to help you no matter what you're going to do. Because if you don't know how to write, it really shows everywhere. People judge you by your writing. I intentionally sometimes send emails with spelling mistakes to see how many people I get yelling at me.
So yeah, I totally agree with you, especially on that sales side. I think sales is the lifeblood of any business. If you are not selling, if you don't know how to make money, the business will eventually collapse. So that's right. Sales is important. I see that you've written over 20 books. That's amazing. I've written 1 or 2. And sitting down, putting all those thoughts together, that's a pretty tough job. So congratulations. So which is your latest book, Sheevaun?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I actually don't know which is my latest book. Each one, I'm just going to go through a couple just of the ideas. One of them was written about meditation based upon how I taught other people to meditate. And really, we should be learning how to meditate in a much more formulaic way. The way people teach meditation leads people away from meditation. So that's one. The other one is just a fun story about my mom and how to buy things at a price that you want. So it's basically manifesting, but kind of ragging on my mom as to how much she loved to shop. And but buying things in a way that it's really cool. And then the other ones are about, one is about the divine, and then the other ones are really aimed at different parts of somebody's life and experiences that maybe, business owners have health challenges like anybody else, right? And so how do you keep your energy up? What do you do and say and take? And how to deal with different things that are happening in your life. So each of those are unique and individual to a circumstance that somebody is going through. Clutter and how to declutter in a way that isn't going to get you to rebel against life, each thing. So it's like, if you're called, what I always say, when we used to go to more events and have physical products in front of people, and they'd say, oh, I like that one. you're always drawn to the one that you absolutely need, even if your brain says that you don't want it or you don't think you need it. It's the exact thing that you totally need for your soul. So, yeah.
That's good. You, you are a success coach. You talk about success to people. How do you define success? Because, to different people, success can mean different things. So what's your own definition for success, if you don't mind?
Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relational, financial. So there are 6 wheels, 6 pieces in that puzzle. And so am I doing my own work? Am I living the way I speak? Am I integrous? All of those things. Have I helped somebody today? That's really how I define success. It's pretty much day by day, because having nearly lost my own life, I really have a different perspective. And it's just like, I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to still be here. And it's like, okay, have I said something nice or gotten somebody to smile, or, really shifted somebody today that is going to help uplift them and the world around them? Mm-hmm. And that's success for me. Of course, I love to be paid for what I do. And I love to be paid for what I do because the energetic exchange is important. If you ask for things for free all the time, then people won't want to pay you. That's kind of but if I have been able to do one thing to help the planet, I think that's successful. That sounds very altruistic, but it's how I live, because really, I've had enough bumps and bruises along life to be like, yeah, that's just the only way there is.
I like that. You also have your podcast. Is that still on?
I have a couple of them. I have one called Driving for Your Success, and it's about 2-minute chunks of ideas. I have a client who says it's her divine butt kick every day.
No, that's good. That's good.
And she said 2 to 4 minutes is exactly right, and I seem to tap into the right one at the right time. So it's a couple minutes. Okay. And then I have a longer one that is about all things about energy, and how energy is something that we need to learn and know about. We're in an energy age. I mean, everything's Wi-Fi, and that's an energy. And then I have one from a long, long time ago that, we every once in a while throw one out there called Master Your Energy, Master Your Life. And so, yeah, I was doing podcasts long before podcasts were cool. And I know how much work it entails. So bravo to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool these days. I enjoyed it. With this podcast, I've met different people that I wouldn't ordinarily have met. So, I'm meeting you as well, like talking and having this conversation with you. And I'm learning a lot in the process. So for me, it's all about helping people. You talked about helping people. And at the same time, I'm also learning as, interviewing and having conversation with people. So it's been awesome to me. I'll say that. So, Sheevaun, as we are rounding up, where can my audience find you if they want to connect and learn more about what you do?
Sure. They can go, all the normal places, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, blah, blah. Instagram, although I don't do Instagram much anymore. All of those places, but you can go to SheevaunMoran.com, SheevaunMoran.com. There's a little book in there called, there's 3 choices on the homepage. And the blog, I have a lot to say, so about success and helping people. But a couple of things I want to point people to. One would be the 5essentialenergies.com. That's a book. And then there's a thing called the Pyramid of Values that I did, a blog post that is, I think a lot of people have really loved. And then the last one that's in the blog is called The Tree of Life. And it's really about the idea of success from the seedling of an idea all the way to the forest of successful things. And it's an 8-part series, 15 minutes long. And you just type in the little search Tree of Life and it will come up with the 8-part series. And so if you're interested or inspired by the idea of energy and how success goes from this seedling of an idea all the way up, it's worth it. It's worth a listen.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And that's where we are wrapping it today. It's been awesome speaking with Sheevaun Moran. We've learned a lot from her. She's an entrepreneur, a business coach, and she has shared a lot of insight with us today. And we are grateful for your time, Sheevaun. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So
this episode of Winner's Ways podcast has come to a close. We hope you enjoy and learn something from today's show. We want you to win and excel in all areas of your life, and we regularly explore and share information with our listeners to empower them to win. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more tips and strategies to help you find the success that you've always dreamt of. And don't forget to rate and review so that we can continue to bring you more podcast episodes to empower you. We will love to have you again next week. Now, keep winning.